Well, hello, welcome back to Imperfect Plans. Today I'm going to be unboxing my new Epson printer. I have the Ecotank ET-3850. I'm also going to be doing a test print on some pretty thick cardstock paper, so please stick around for that and let's just get right into it. The ET-3850 is an all-in-one printer, so you can scan from it, you can fax, of course you can print. It's also a super tank, which means it supports a wide range of different media types, including glossy paper, labels, iron-on transfers. Another really cool thing is that it uses cartridge-free ink. So you get your ink in little bottles. You're not paying for the actual cartridges. I think for a pack of ink, the black with the colors, is probably like around $10, and that is crazy cheap. If y'all know how much ink is, you know that's a really, really good deal. So if you do have a business, I would absolutely recommend getting one of their Ecotank printers because you'll be paying a lot less on ink over time. I purchased my printer on Black Friday for $375. It said it was discounted, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't, but it's all good because it absolutely is worth the purchase. Okay, now I'm gonna go through these instructions. Hopefully I can do this by myself. I wanted to wait until my husband got home, but I'm really excited to get this up and going. So I want to see if these instructions are clear enough, because sometimes when you get electronics, it can be really difficult to set up even with the provided instructions. So let me see if this is self-explanatory, easy enough to do on your own. And yeah, let's just go through it step by step and I'll show you guys. Step one is to, of course, plug in your printer. If you turn your printer around, there's a little port there on the back where you just hook it up to and then just connect it to an outlet. Step two is to set up printing from your phone, but I'm using my phone to record right now, so I'm gonna save that for later. So step three is to go ahead and get your ink put in, and this part is gonna be so fun. I'm really excited to show y'all this part, so keep on watching. The printer came with up to 2 years worth of ink. That obviously depends on how much you're using and how often you're printing. So yeah, I guess it's dependent on that, but it's still a decent amount of ink. As you can see, it fills up pretty fast. I do have this video sped up a little bit, but even without it being sped up, it still came out really quick. It also will stop once it gets to that line by itself. You will have some extra left over in that bottle, so make sure you close it up really tightly, keep it up somewhere so your kids can't get it, and save it, because once your printer goes through the filtering system or whatever it does, it will use up a good amount of the ink. So the extra left in that bottle will replenish whatever was lost. Once your ink is all in, we're gonna go ahead and start up the printer. That's the next step. So the printer face there, it does lift up a little bit so that you can see it better when you're standing up. So go ahead and kind of tilt it up just a little bit so that you can see it better, and start your printer. This next part is pretty self-explanatory. Just go through all the steps to get set up, select your language. You're going to do a bunch of different test prints. It'll literally explain to you everything you need to do on that screen on the printer. So go through each and every step. Don't skip anything. And then once you finish, then we can go over to the next step. Here's an example of me doing one of the test prints. So just bring that tray input out and go ahead and put your paper in, and then close that back up, and then you bring the output tray out so that your paper can fall out on it once it's done. Now we have to download the software. It does come with a CD, but if you don't have a CD RAM on your laptop, I have a Microsoft Surface 3, so I do not have one at all. So I had to go on the website. I think it was epson.com/support or something like that. It'll be written on the instructions. Go there, get it all downloaded on your computer. You'll have to restart, do a whole bunch of waiting. So have some patience, let that get set up before you go over to the next step. Now, one thing I want to let you guys know is to absolutely download the firmware. It'll help you out a lot in the long run when you're trying to add different settings to your printer. I did not do it, as you can see here, but I had to go back and do it later on. So make sure you add that firmware. Now that everything is set up, I really want to test print one of my actual planner inserts. I'm going to go for something pretty big though. I'm not going to do just a regular insert. I want to print out one of my dashboards that I created in Canva. It's pretty colorful, so I really want to test this out to see if it can actually bring the color. I was contemplating purchasing the photo Epson printer instead, because I thought that would be a little bit better for more vibrant pictures. But let's see if I can get this printer to print it as close to this image here, or the color. Now, before you hit print, you want to make sure you adjust the settings. You need to adjust the type of paper you're using. I'm using pretty high quality thick paper, so I selected the premium presentation paper matte. Do the same exact thing on the actual printer. Go to the settings section and change the type of paper you're using, the size of the paper, get all that adjusted. You can even save it into your favorites if you want, but go ahead and get that changed in before you actually hit print on your computer. All right, now for the moment of truth. Let's see how she comes out. Okay, here it is. It actually looks pretty good. It's not as bright and vibrant as I thought it would be, but I guess it makes sense. I'm using really thick paper. I may need to play around with the settings a little bit, so I don't know. We'll test that out. Here's a side-by-side comparison of what the image actually looks like on my computer compared to the one I printed. I'm pausing here because just to let you guys know, it was not the settings. I did test it out later on in the day and figured out that it was actually the picture. I needed to add a little bit more saturation and adjust the filters on it, add some more brightness, and here is how it came out. Now I want to try the print on some cardstock paper. The paper I was just using was 40 pounds, so it still was pretty thick paper. But this is supposed to be even thicker, but to be honest, it's not as thick as I thought it would be. It's 110 pounds. So I want to see if we can get the same print, if it's going to be better or worse. So let's test this out. Okay, so this is the actual speed at which the print came out. I didn't speed it up or slow it down. So it's coming out at a pretty decent rate, I feel like, for this type of printer. It's not like industrial or anything, and the picture that's coming out is pretty elaborate as well, so I think it's pretty good for the printer. Okay, now I'm going to speed this up a little bit because if not, we're going to be here all day. So this next part is sped up. As you can see, they look pretty similar. I don't see much of a difference in between the two. The paper quality was almost the same, even though one was 40 pounds, other was 110 pounds. Honestly, y'all, they felt the exact same. So not much of a difference with the cardstock paper. Here's a close-up image of how good the detailing is. If you can see from the computer, it's supposed to look like this, really speckled with like white, purplish type speckles on the blue. It looks amazing. I'm absolutely happy with the printer. And then let me show you how low the ink has gotten. It was all the way at the top, and now after printing, I did, let me see, probably about 5 or 6 different types of test sheets. They had to do the alignments, the color test, and then my computer did a test print to make sure that it actually printed from my computer to the printer. So yeah, I did a bunch of test prints plus these 3. And this is how low we've gotten. Oh, and it also did when it does the sync or whatever it's doing with the ink in the beginning, filtering through it or something, it does take a lot of ink to do that. And that's even before you do the test print, which is why there is some extra ink left in each one of these. So I can actually refill these up and probably bring it all the way back to the top. So I'll probably do that sometime today or tomorrow. All right, well, that is all for today's video. Please let me know in the comment section if y'all have any other additional questions that I did not touch on. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye.